Liz, we filming?
It's for your brother.
No, I know. He asked me to make sure.
Okay, I got it.
So I'd first like to, at the beginning, shout out Jack and Ben, who are timing this and are going to let us know how long I run by the end.
Hold on, guys. Over under 10 minutes. Whole camp.
Obviously. So first and foremost, before anything else, I wanted to will something to Harrison, other side of the phone.
Oh.
He's the one who asked to make sure that I got a recording of this, because I was there for his senior wills, but he can't be there for mine. Harrison, Wakanda and Sam, without you, I know it's been a couple of years since we've gone to camp together, but it'll just be a few more before we get to start counseling together. I'm really looking forward to that. This is really hard. Whew. To the counselors and to my friends in YLT, I will you all as many fruit trays as possible with all the cantaloupe in the world so we can finally have enough to go around. I will you all the potluck dinners in the world. And to the counselors, I will you all a dance where it's actually campers dancing also. I was really worried coming into this week. I wasn't super sure whether or not I was going to do a great job as a co-president or not. We spent a lot of time preparing. I spent a lot of time talking with all of you guys, with the counselors, with YLT. You guys have been really good this week. You all done a lot of things to make this camp experience really important to me. I didn't come into camp at the best place at the start of this week. I had a lot of other things on my mind. I had other things bringing me down. But I know that camp is a very healing place, and I was still worried that I wasn't going to be able to have the healing that I would normally get. I want to thank you guys for making that possible for me. To Petey, I will you all the light in the world, that while it may be at one place at one time, you may carry it to all places at all times, and that you may spread it so that it may reach as many people as possible, just like you have reached it out to all of us. I want to thank you for being here this week. Your keynotes were really significant, and I think we all took a lot away from them. I want to thank you for that. To Bish, if y'all could all just take a second with me and do just like Petey suggested, a quick breathe in, breathe out prayer for Bish. God be with Bish. For the past couple of years coming here to week one, Bish has also been a keynote giver who's really important to me. A lot of my friends and other people knew a little bit better than I did because I didn't get to go here my first year, my freshman year. I was at CYF too. But then I got to meet him, and I got to talk with him, and he's been one of the most important parts of camp to me, because he shares that light. So I will to Bish all the help in the world, all the grace that God can give him, and a quick and speedy recovery. To Kathy B, I will you a group of campers who know what number their morning meds are and don't forget everyone. And I will you co-presidents that won't keep forgetting to mention when people are supposed to go get their meds. I also will you a week that's not so full of rain that people are constantly injuring themselves. To Barry, I will you all the flowers that you could possibly plant around camp, all the work that you've done for all of us, and all of the little things you would give me as bribes while I've been co-president, just so I could make things work in your favor. Thanks, Barry, you're a real one for that.
You did that to me too.
To my boys in Campbell Cabin, what a time it has been. You know, I was having a conversation with people about cabins when I got here because I had a whole list of people that I could be in a cabin with, and then they told me, hey, which way are we gonna go here? They didn't tell me all of them. They just at first said, hey, do you want to be in a cabin with Ethan, Elijah, and Spencer? And they didn't really give me a second option, so I went, sure. And then it was about 40 minutes later, the directors texted me and said, so actually that cabin's already full. Other cabin? And I said, sure. Maybe the best sure I've done in a while. You guys are great. And while I do miss my South Elkhorn boys and also Elijah, I'm glad that I ended up where I did, you guys mean a lot. To Jackson, I willed a history textbook that explains the entirety of the British Empire and the fact that it was, in fact, a really important empire historically. To Ben, gosh, I love you, man. Getting to grow with you here, seeing everything you've become, seeing the wonderful man you've become has been really significant to me. I love you with all my heart. And I will you an early lights out so you can actually get some sleep. And so Noah will stop hitting you. I love you, Ben. To Andrew. Yeah, go on. You mean a lot to me. I remember those first couple weeks when we first went here together in CYF. Man, was that a cabin. And I'm so glad I got to do that again with you this year. I've seen you through a lot of places in your life, a lot of highs, a lot of lows, a lot of glows, which is our version of buffaloes. It's like buffaloes but better. Yeah, glow. To Brennan, who's not here tonight. Brennan has been a very close friend to me for a long time, and the fact that he's not in the room with us to hear me give my will breaks my heart. To Brennan, I want you to know that we're all thinking about you here. You mean the world to me, man. You're one of the people that I've spent the most time outside of camp making sure to communicate back and forth with. I care about you a lot, and I will you 1 million pink ping pong balls and a story to go with every one of them. To Noah and Eli, woo. We really put y'all through the work this week. To Noah, I want to will a bed that actually fits you. I get it, I understand the struggle. I'm with you in that. One of these days. To Eli, I'd like to wish a version of solitaire that actually treats you fairly. They be cheating you, man. You're good at that game. And to the entirety of Campbell Cabin, I want to will you all of my best wishes for being an incredible cabin and CYF. To my siesta boys, you all know who you are. From Super Pumpkin to Hamilton, we've been through a lot. Who knew that simply skipping siesta to be on the muddiest shelter in the world would be so important? I'm not going to talk about all you guys right now because I got some moments later for some of you, but just a couple of siesta boys I want to talk about. Hawk, I'm so glad to meet you this week, man. I know we've only had this little bit of time together, but you've always been around. And you're always the first person willing to give me a high five, a handshake, a fist bump. No matter who it is, no matter where it is, you're always willing to go in there and give people the support that they need. And that's what we need at camp. And I want to thank you for being that light in people's life this week. It means a lot. To Alex, I will you the continued divine power to once again summon down tree branches from the sky with the power of Jesus of love. You terrified us all. But that's the power of Jesus Christ. Gosh, I feel like I've known you so long, Alex, and that's because I've known you for so long, Alex. You're such a great guy. And I was so happy to hear that you'd be back with us again this week. I didn't know if it was going to happen, but I'm really glad to see that it did. To Gunnar, first things first, Shawshank Redemption, Blu-ray edition. Already? Oh, this is going to go like half an hour. Lock in, folks. You have been an incredibly trusting
Harrison, I'm not
person,
letting him go for 30
a very
minutes.
kind person. And I remember the first time I knew anything about you was about half a year before I even met you. It was a CYF before you first came here when I was talking to Holly out on the porch. I had only really known Holly for a little bit at this time, and one of the first things she said to me is, you know who you would love? There's this kid at my church, his name's Gunnar. You met his dad a little while ago. You and Gunnar are gonna have such a great time together. She was right. Love you, man. Ty. There you are. It has been a time. I've only known you a couple years still, but you touch my heart every time you come up and say something. You have a deep sense of truth within you that I really admire and I really care about. I'm lucky enough to hear a lot of your story, your struggles, and I will you for the rest of your days. No more worries. Hakuna Matata. Mary, I will you all the joy and the parent-related puns in the world. I want to thank you for being the person who was willing to hang out with the weird harmonica kid. And shut up, we're not going to talk about that again because that never happened. I've always been this, a weird non-harmonica kid. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Mary, shh. Emma, Maddie, the Rennickers. I know I haven't had as much time to get to know you guys as I have some other people, but you've always been there. And a really strong consistency is that you've always been there for people. This year, as I've gotten the chance to work with you all, I've seen the incredible kindness that you have and the willingness that you always have to spread out and allow everyone into your hearts. The love you all have for each other is one of the most admirable things in the world, and I don't want y'all to ever lose that. Next page. Holly. Now, I was in Holly's small group the first time I ever came to CYF1. I cried a lot that week. Like a lot. I haven't always come to a condo in the best conditions, but Holly's been a consistent, caring force in my life, and I know she has been in so many of our lives. I've been glad to be within and around her as much as I have these past few years. And I want to thank you, Holly, for caring so much. For caring about us even when you can't understand what's happening to us, for always knowing that all you need to do is care. I think this counts as a new one, Jack, for the Talia.
I got you.
Ugh. To Dennis and Laura, I have known you all for a while. This sort of gets into the weird category of people that I can't really say I saw grow up. They saw me grow up. I remember very vaguely being very, very young. You all looked about the same. It's been very helpful for recognition. You all have always been such positive people in my life and my growth. You guys have aged well. That's what that means. You have aged gracefully and wonderfully, and you are kind and wonderful people. Exactly. They've been stuck at 27 their entire lives. And anyone else who says anything otherwise, heresy. Moving back on to more of the same, I've had the joy to be in small group with Dennis of my CYF experience. We're going to put a pin in that one. We're going to come back to that. Because first, we got to talk about the Slinkies.
Yeah.
Small group 5. Where you guys at? I love you guys. I will you all every single round of going camping, where it inevitably takes one person maybe 20 minutes longer than the rest of us. Kirsten, Maddie, I'm looking at you guys. Scotty. This is your first week here at CYF, but I've known you for a little while before that. All the other weeks, the camps, the y'alls, the work weekends. And I'm just glad that I got to be here, that I got to be a co-president, that I got to be your small group for your first week. Because you've meant a lot for me even before you got to be here, and now that you're here, I'm glad that we got to start it off the way that we did. You're gonna do great things. And I'm glad I got to be a little part of that. Kirsten, you are sharp. I mean, you're really, really on it. Maybe the person I've ever met who's really the only one who can surpass me in true amounts of the sheer amount of obscure and esoteric knowledge that really doesn't matter to anyone but us. I'm so glad I have someone to tell stuff to this week, who really cares about the fun facts. I'm getting to you, Casey, in due time. I have a lot to say. We know this. Good. I see a lot of myself in you, Kirsten. I'm so excited to see where all of that beautiful knowledge and passion goes to. You're incredible. I can't wait to see what you do with all of them. Garrett. Man, you are so kind. I don't know, you're just always there for everyone. And I feel like even when you slink a little bit into the background, you're always there on your guitar, or just standing in the corner being there. And I don't know if anyone else here really truly embraces that idea down there that we talked about at Keynote of just presence. Petey told us a pretty nice story, and I think you're the rabbit, man. I think you have to be. Sarah Kate, you are such a prolific leader. And I'm glad that I got to be in a place where I got to see you lead this year. In years past, I haven't really gotten to do a lot with you. We haven't had much time together. I think on the first day here, we saw Laura coming up in her car, and we just saw her in the distance, and I was talking to Elijah. We just looked over and who is that? And I just said, I don't know, I think maybe Sarah Kate. I couldn't tell. I think I got to know you well enough this week that I won't be able to mistake anyone in a car for you anymore, so that's progress. Sam. I don't know if I've ever seen someone so open and able to just the idea of learning and growth. I talk a lot about a lot of stuff, and a lot of it's not very important. But some of the stuff that I'll randomly mention here and there, things that I just find interesting, things that I think maybe people should know a little bit more about, you'll always manage to at some point come back around and ask me about it. Ask me about that thing I said earlier and why I think it's important. You listen really well, and you care about the things that I have to say to you. And also you read the entire book of Luke, and that's all in just like a day. It's a really good book, you guys should check it out. I'm so glad to have known you this week. Keep growing, keep learning. Jamie. You've been in small group with me for half of my CYF experience, and I've been in what will be half of yours, for now is all of it. And I'm really glad about that. You were in the small group, which I will talk about later. Small group 4. And you're in our beloved Slinkies. And throughout all of that time, you have been just truly a wonderful source of light in people. And more than anything else, I feel like you've just been instrumental to the experience of camp. I think you embody what it means to be at Wakanda. The difference between a regular day and a day here can be summed up by all of your little comments about animal facts and wanting to know more and just being able to enjoy every moment of it. I know you're going to do great things, and I'm a little bit disheartened I don't get to stay in your small group for 2 more years to see them. We're going to get back to you. Chloe. Another person who definitively falls in the category of someone who got to see me grow a lot more than I did them. I don't know how old I was when I met you. I think it was still at the young enough age that I didn't really have the concept of meeting someone versus already knowing them. Our age is far enough apart that I didn't really get to interact with you that much in church. I just remember seeing you sometimes up there playing music or talking or doing whatever, just thinking, wow, that's really cool. I want to do that. I want to be like that person. They've got it figured out, I think. So I try to do that quite a bit. I had a bit of a unique option this year as a co-president. They sent me the lists of all of the counselors ahead of time, the different pairings, and they told us you can be in any small group you want to be of those. Now my option was made a little bit easier because Zoe answered that she wanted to be in Holly's group before I got the chance to open the text. However, after taking a quick look over the list, I think I pretty quickly decided that I wanted to be in your small group because I just haven't had the chance. And I wanted to get a little taste of what it was like before, in a couple of years, I get to come back here and counsel with you. I'm looking forward to it. Slinkies, you will always and forever be slinked by love. Keep that. To Audrey, Aubrey, Kennedy, and to a great extent anyone who was with me at Aiders. Yeah, that was a time. Shout out Aiders. What a camp that was. One extra day. I was in the weird camp of people who had to come right after COVID, so I didn't really have just about anyone else in my grade, but you all, your little babies, welcomed me in with open arms. Aubrey, I've gotten to see you grow so much through joy and pain and laughter and love, and seeing you go through and experience all of it and heal through camp. And I'm so glad I was able to see that. And I'm so glad you've had this place to do that. Audrey, I'm gonna miss our campfire talks. We only really had them for like a year and a half. It was a pretty good year and a half. I will you all of the stupidest nicknames that have no reason to stay around for as long as they did. And Kennedy, I will you all of the truly most insane and nonsensical debates possible, because we're both people that hate to lose arguments. Yeah. I appreciate that. Keep me in check. Man, where's me? I can't. Way in the back. Hi, man. I don't have that much to say. We haven't had a super extensive experience at Wakanda. There's no one moment in particular that I can point to and say, that was the time that Mia was the most important person. That's the time, except for I think last year during a dance party we had after banquets where we just sort of sat outside and talked for a while. Those are the sort of talks that camp's really about. Keep having them. They mean a lot to people. Cora, I know you probably weren't expecting me to mention you at all. I just want to prepare you a little bit for what happens next. because I hope she's been more transparent with you, but for spending a week with Zoe, I know how much she cares about you. It's a lot. And this next bit's gonna be quite a bit for you, so stay prepared. Mila, you're such a powerful, free spirit. And I don't know, I think there's something about the freedom that comes with camp that you embody really well. You have a soul that really inspires people. I want to thank you for always putting yourself out there and making the camp a better place by making sure that you're a part of it and that everyone near you is a part of it. And I will to you, a new Jud Ball line judge who actually understands the rules. You need one of those. I should know them better. My sister wrote them. I should know the rules. I don't know the rules. To my Beargrass boys, Jack, shout out. To my new guys, Will, also Will, doesn't. I'm so glad I had the chance to share this experience with you guys. I know you've been going to Wakanda for a bit. This is your first time. This is both of your first times and your first time, Dawson, here at CYF, high school camp. And man, is it a time. I don't really have all that much to say, other than I'm glad I got to spend the time in church with you all that I did. I look forward to seeing more of you all. And I was really glad to see the sides of you that I did at camp. I found that it always brings out the best in people, and it certainly brought something wonderful in all three of you. Keep it going. You're an incredible asset to this camp and an incredible asset to Beargrass. Bye, Jack. Jack's gonna get water. It's gonna be a minute. This is why we call halftime before the final three people. It is halfway through. Jansen, big guy. First and foremost, I want to will you the pure joy that comes alongside hearing Wishy Washy Washable for the first time. Man, were those the days. And this next part is to both you, Andy. Also to Andrew. Also to Harrison. Was that a cabin, man? Scott cabin 2 years ago? That's where it all started for you. And it does. And it's definitely not where it started for me, but it's something that felt special about being a little part of somebody's beginning. Especially people that have taken to camp as much as you all have. And people that have made it their own. You're an incredibly kind person. You're both wonderful leaders. Can't wait to see what you do a week 2. Gonna be a good time. And just seeing all the kindness that you've shown, the way that you all have grown in these past few years, the way that you've grown into camp, has been incredible. To read, I will you a world record number of French toast sticks that we can put up on the wall. Annabelle Lucas. I remember the first time I heard about you 2 years ago. It was a couple weeks after we had finished CYF. I was going to a party, a bunch of seniors who just graduated, and Harrison dragged me along because that was that little brother who everyone just wanted to bring to have fun with at the party. And I think it was maybe 4 in the morning, maybe 4:30, and Ella was sitting in a chair, I was nearby, and she just took a moment to look at me and she said, "You know, my little sister's coming to camp next year. You're gonna love her. You're gonna love her. You guys have so much in common. She's the best. You're the best." I'm so glad I got to spend these past couple of years. And I want to thank your sister for being right about you. Maddie Gibson. just to clarify. I know there's 3 of you. Just as much some people have been a through line in camp for you, you have been an incredible through line for me. I've seen how much you care about everyone and everything. And I think the really only thing I have to say is that camp won't be the same place without you, but it will be an absolutely better place for having had you in it. And because you didn't get to mention it during your speech, I wanted to bring up small group 4 from last year. We're gonna unpin that pin from like 12 minutes ago. Hey Casey, you'll get your turn.
30 and a half.
Good. And we're not done. We're not close to done. I wrote this an hour ago. I write fast. Small group 4 from last year. Dennis, Andrea, who couldn't be here, and everyone else here who was part of that incredible small group. I want to thank you all for being there with me, for having our porch time, and I will to all of you the opportunity to all break down sobbing crying on Tuesday morning in a small group. We really sped run that, gang. It was sad knowing that I got to hit such a small group in my junior year. Don't worry, Slinkies, I love you guys. It's not bashing on you.